I'm José Manuel García-Lomas Allen-Perkins. In this fourth video on negotiation, we talk about the importance of nonverbal communication, NVC, in negotiations. Throughout my professional life as consultant and trainer, I have been developing all types of sales and management forces, working normally with multinational companies in all economic sectors of the business world, which could be summarized in more than 40 years and about 3,000 days of training, courses, seminars, and coaching actions. Today we continue with this fourth video on the techniques for successful negotiations development, focusing this time on something as vital as nonverbal communication, the NVC, and its influence on negotiations, the body language. And what is NVC? Nonverbal communication, the information that our senses perceive without the exception of spoken or written, said Henry H. Calero. Let's talk about their influence in negotiations. Attention, this that comes now is what is essential. Knowing or finding out the attitudes of the people with whom we are negotiating serves two purposes. One, choose the most appropriate tactics, and two, establish the timing in what we are going to say, let's say when to say it. The value of these 2 points, tactics, what we say, and timing when we say it, is such that they can mean the difference between success or failure in negotiations. One of the means to find out attitudes is through oral communication, verbal communication. Another way to find out attitudes and always present during the negotiation is nonverbal communication, the NVC. Some expression about the NVC. The man is a multisensorial being. Sometimes he verbalizes, said, read, whistle. Sometimes sign language or body language is in contradiction and deserves more credibility than what people express verbally. J. Ennis. And Victor Hugo said, man has sight, women has insight, inner vision. Must have sight, women insight, inner vision, inside faculty to realize things that go unnoticed by others. And an old Chinese proverb says, beware of that man who, when he laughs, his stomach doesn't move. Aspects to consider in the NVC, nonverbal communication. 1. Gestures. For example, you wrap your hand around your neck and your wife thinks you are worried or in trouble. What is the matter, dear? He asks you. 2. Postures. Example, 3 phone calls. The first ring, ring, he stands firm and button up the button of his jacket. Who is calling us? The boss. Second ring, ring, he nodding his head. Who is that? The wife. The third ring, ring, he looks to one side and turns his back. And who is it? The lover. 3. Facial expression. Example, why does blinking increase? when the person is nervous, or when he lies, the blinking increases. In England, they have a saying, the blinking liar. 4. Sounds, to emit sound. No, no, no. When the tongue detaches from the upper gum rhythmically, producing a typical sound that expresses no, no. This is an influence of Arabic culture in my country. 5. Silence. The silence speaks. 6. Dresses. That's how we dress, that's how we express intimate aspects of our being. 7. Tactile. Touching, or taking the arm that person that we consider superior, the chief. 8. Signs. In negotiation they are transmitted and it is necessary to be alert. 9. Semantic answers. Examples. Eye-opening expresses interest. Closing, squinting expresses fear or something not good. Turn right, redness of the cheeks, sweating, stuttering, they are all semantic responses. Few people know the color of the eyes of the people they are negotiating with, and so they lose that precious communication that is the eye contact. Inexperienced poker players said that you have to see the other faces of the people you are playing with before you see your own cards. But if when you look at the faces of the other players before you look at your cards, you discover that they are also looking at you, then you will be in difficulty. Some interesting examples, remembering that our internal attitudes are expressed through our body language, non-verbal communication. Stippling, to place the hands of a priest but with a finger joined together, is a sign or gesture of the person who, when speaking, believes to be in possession of the truth. Steep in English, as you know, is incline, and in making a stippling, we are imitating with our hands the image of the roofs of houses in the Nordic countries, which are very inclined, so that in winter the snow slides and does not sink the roof. The politicians, almost without exception, when they speak in public, have the tendency to make a stippling. And with it, they are unconsciously expressing that what they say is the truth and only the truth. Gestures of authority, hands behind your back, authority. 2. Swinging over the feet, authority. 3. Grab the flaps, authority. 4. Hands on the jacket pocket with thumbs out of pocket, authority. And many, many more. 3 reasons why women are more receptive than men. 1. When they are little girls, they are given a doll. Boys are given a gun. 2. Boys are put to compete right away. Girls not so much before, but today as well. 3. When they are mothers and they have their baby, then have to communicate with them without words, that is to say, with the non-verbal communication. Looking over your glasses is a suspicious attitude about what they are telling us. Doodling, those who draw on papers while listening to another person, do not hear well enough, lose communication and are not watching the transmitter. This is called doodling. Positions: feet, legs, arms, back, body. Feet with legs crossed, fingers up, expression of tension and aggressiveness. Feet with legs crossed, fingers down, expression of relaxation. Feet flat on the ground, expression without tension. Feet on the tips, expression of restlessness. Legs and arms uncross, the A in eurythmy, expression of open attitude. Crusaders, the E for eurythmy, close, expression of defense, but also of recollection to remember the images of the Madonna, the Virgin Mary in the paintings with arms crossed, interiorizing the divine message. Back, supported, express defense. Up, unsupported, express desire. Body position: forward, express activity, aggressiveness. Behind, express passivity. Now let's talk about the general process of nonverbal communication. 1. The process begins when we look at another person and she looks at us. 2. The first person who speaks produces his nonverbal communication along with his words. 3. If verbal and nonverbal communication are congruent, we tend to relax, trust, believe. 4. If on the contrary they are incongruent, then we tend to distrust, to doubt, to suspect. 5. When the other person speaks, the whole process is repeated. Steps to be taken in relation to NVC. A. What attitude do we perceive? B. Based on what gestures and facial expressions? C. What other nonverbal communication do we verify? D. Do we want to modify or influence the attitudes? E. So let's proceed to 1. Check our own NVC. 2. Continue checking it later. 3. Involve then ours and theirs nonverbal communication. And 4. Change the environment if necessary. And 5. End the meeting. But never ignore the NVC of both. If you are interested in our videos, I suggest that you give a like and subscribe to our channel for the videos that are to come.